Obviously, a phenomenal environment. Really cool to be in this environment. It's a tribute to what they have going here and what Coach Bluter and now what Jan are doing. I thought our kids played really, really hard. Obviously, foul trouble and some limited minutes with some people hurt us, but it was a great game and really proud of the way we competed in a tough environment. So obviously, you'd like to have a few plays here and there, but that's the nature of it. But could not be more proud of our team and the way they competed.
When when Addie Brown or when Addie Brown did have to leave this game, Audie really carried this offense. What did you see in that stretch from Audie, and then in the fourth quarter, maybe when it changed?
Obviously, Audie's, a really good offensive player. I thought we did a pretty good job of getting her the ball at the right time. She finished quite a bit. Obviously, struggled at the free throw line, which was a big part of the game tonight. But really, again, she did her work the way we needed to. They sent a lot of bodies at her, but she handled it really well. And I thought our kids, we had 22 assists, and most of them were her. Obviously, it's hard to have Addie Brown out of the game in foul trouble. That's a huge loss, and especially with Kenzie's situation, we kind of struggled to kind of eat up the minutes. But Audie's a really dynamic offensive player.
You mentioned free throw shooting, but turnovers. How much did that play a part in all?
Oh yeah, I mean you can't turn the ball over as much as we did. We made some really. Obviously, they were very, very, which we knew. We were very physical, defensive team, very good on the ball. Made it hard to cut, made it hard to pass. And like most games, you turn the ball over 21 times. I'd say half of them it's great defense, and half of them was bad decision on offense. I mean, there was a couple of them that I don't know if we were colorblind or what for a second because I don't know where we were throwing the ball, but you got to give them a lot of credit.
What has Iowa been doing defensively differently? I mean, you've played Iowa a lot of times. This might be one of their better defensive teams in a while. What do you see from them defensively?
I mean, they're very, very physical, especially on the perimeter. They have length at every spot, and they just really get up into you. They make it really hard for you to run your offense. Interchangeable parts, and then you have enough size. And then Hannah Stolke is a very versatile. She can guard in the perimeter. She can guard in the post. So yeah, it's exactly what we talked about coming into the game. We tried to simulate it as best we could, but they're a really, really good, solid, fundamental defensive team that really makes it hard for you to run your stuff.
What is it about this place that's just given you guys so many troubles over the last decade or so?
I think probably first of all the opponent's really good. I think for most of the games we've been competitive, and I would say there's been a lot of people that have come in here and struggled. So yeah, it's something that we haven't been able to overcome. We've been in, we had a chance tonight, I thought, and really I thought, again, considering some of the things, and you looked out there and we had a lot of young guys out there, freshmen and sophomores, and they're competing. But you got to give Iowa credit. They're a very, very good team. Every time we've come in here, they've been very good. That's just the way it is here. So it's more about them than it is us, I think.
What happened during that 9-0 run that Iowa went on in the fourth quarter that allowed them to really take control?
Gotta be careful. Well, I better be careful what I say here. No, it's we missed some shots. There was 2 times where we had good looks at the basket, didn't make them, and we were had players that were not able to get back in transition, and they knocked in a couple threes on us, which was big. And then again, missed a couple free throws. And when you play on the road, or you play any good team, especially on the road, when the other team is playing at a level that they were playing, you got to find a way to stop it. And you can't go up and miss 2 free throws. You can't miss a layup. You can't, you got to get a stop. And we just didn't do it. And that's a credit to them and something certainly we have to work through.
did you find out about Kenzie, and
Uh,
how did that impact
yeah,
just your overall game plan?
well, it impacts a lot. She's a starter. She's a really good player. She's very tough. She can score. Obviously, we're struggling to find points, except from Addie and Audie right now. The decision was made probably Tuesday. We talked a lot about it. It's a pre-existing thing that she came with, and she fought through it. Our medical team did everything they could, but she can't go to the level she needs to. So we made the decision to redshirt her. She'll have her surgery and hopefully recover. But tough decision for her. Obviously, she's a really big piece of what we were doing, but that's where the other guys got to step up, and now they get the opportunity of the minutes. So hopefully we can find that.
Bill, just kind of spinning this forward a little bit. You've played really difficult schedules and really good teams. What have you taken away from yourselves right now, and how can you apply that to do a real competitive Big 12 schedule?
Yeah, you're probably rethinking your scheduling model, probably. But no, I think what you take away from it is when we do go to the Big 12, there isn't anything that I don't think we haven't seen with the teams that we've played, and we've played really good teams. We're going to play, another one obviously next Tuesday night, and we've played them, at UNI, at Iowa, South Carolina neutral court, at UConn. So you put yourself in a really hard spot, so that I hope when we get to the Big 12, wherever we go, whoever we play, we can look and go, all right, we've seen this before, and hopefully handle it just a hair better. But we'll see how we. That's it. That's a great question. It's just a matter of how long, the timing that it takes. We won't know tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll know as we get through January and February.
Coach, how much does home court advantage mean in this series?
I think it means a lot. Historically, it seems like, except for a few games, especially when Caitlin was playing, I mean, you look at it, the home court has been really good to most of the time, not all the time. But I think there's the environment that's created in women's basketball in this state is really special. Great environment tonight. It's cool when the bus is coming in and there's traffic and people are, that's what young people deserve. And I think our state is a state that has embraced women's basketball for a long time. Obviously, what Coach Bluter and Caitlin Zier did, made it bigger, certainly here and across the country. But our state has always kind of been that way. So I think there's a great sense of pride when you play at home. It's a tough environment, and you add tough environment to good team. That's a good combination, and most of the time that's kind of the way it's worked out.
Speaking of that environment, you've played a lot of road games, and here the noise was about 110 decibels or so at its loudest. Do you think that affected the composure of your team down the stretch at all? Like, did that have an effect on the way that they played? And how often do you get crowds that loud on the road?
Not that often. No, this is one of the best ones, obviously. I don't think it really impacted our composure. I think it obviously it ratchets up the defensive intensity of the home team. We made some we tried to make some decisions, and I think the big thing too is at the end of the game you commit a foul with 4 seconds on the shot clock, you forget to guard. Is that a correlation to the crowd? I don't know. I don't think so, but it could be. And that's probably a great question for the individual kid and whether they do. But I think most players handle it fine. I think our kids do for the most part, but certainly you got to credit Iowa for the things that they did down the stretch to create some turnovers. And, they didn't guard the free throw line, but it sure looked like they were guarding it. Just a really good team. Very impressed. Jan's a class act, and I have the utmost respect for her and what they've done here. And hopefully we can build on this on our end.
We've got time for one more.
Coach, what defensive changes did you see from Iowa against Audie in the fourth quarter?
I think they probably the easiest thing to probably say is they probably went with Hannah Stolke a little bit more. They fronted her a little bit more. They pressured the pass on the perimeter a little bit more. Our delivery to her that was good early wasn't as good in the fourth quarter. And then, we missed a couple shots in there that we need to make. And like I said, just missed a couple free throws. But the physicality, like I said earlier, sorry, I don't know who asked the question, but their perimeter defense is good because it's long, it's athletic, and it creates a really hard passing angle, even to Audie.